What's going on, guys? This is Damien from The Lookout, that's Vjeverica from The Lookout, and we are here to get you ready to win your celebrations event, in case that you didn't have it already, because they officially start today and it's gonna be sealed format. So what's sealed, which cards to look for, we're gonna go over all of that in this video. But before we begin the video, huge shout out to the Coffee Club, our lovely patrons. These are our $2 and up patrons. They buy us coffee, they keep this crazy content machine going. And guys, thanks a lot for your support. If you wish to join the Coffee Club, link to our Patreon is in the description below. And I think that's about everything. Roll the video! As with all of our videos, let's start with a breakdown. So let's get you ready for the celebrations event this weekend. We will be going over the sealed format. We'll talk about the rules. I'll show you some cards that you should try to get, that you should play in your sealed deck. And then we'll just wrap it up with a summary. Let's go! Let's start with the very basics. So, what is Celebration Event? Celebration Event is a sealed event that's going to be taking place at your LGS if your LGS has enough product to run it. You know, there's a global allocation issue going on right now. But for those of you who will have celebration events coming up starting today, this is the guide for you. So please note before we begin that some stores have had their events ahead of time. Yeah, some stores just kinda had them already. So check with your store in case that you've missed your celebration event. What's the format? So the pre-release event was starter deck format. Celebration is officially sealed. Let's go over the basic rules. Okay, what are the rules of the sealed format? They're pretty simple. You build your deck on the spot out of 4 packs. So you show up, you pay for the event, you get 4 packs. You open them and then you build your deck from what you've opened. The deck has to be exactly 30 cards. You can use any leader in the game, including starter deck leaders, but you can't use any of the starter deck cards. That's huge. We will be going over just how huge that is. But an important note is that you need to bring your leader with you. Now, the odds of opening a leader and the odds of opening a good leader that you want to play are too low for a leader in the packs to be guaranteed for the event, which is why you should bring your own leaders with you. If you want to play Beerus, you have Beerus, bring Beerus with you. Last note, some stores might not allow starter deck leaders. They shouldn't say no. According to the official rules, they should absolutely allow you to use them, but check with your store ahead of time just to make sure that you can bring your starter deck leaders. We have some additional rules made to make the format actually function, because I know that some of you must be asking, how the hell do I make a functional deck out of this? Here is how. Your leaders count as being of all colors, having all traits and all names. That means that for the purposes of deck building, your Beerus is now also yellow, green and blue. He is also Goku and Android 17 combined into one apparently, and his traits are Android. He's a Frieza clan Earthling android from Universe 6. Yeah, that's basically the gist. So you get everything in a leader so that your cards can actually work with it. Cards in energy can be used as any energy regardless of their color. That's basically rainbow energy. You know, you charge 1 green and 1 blue card and you can use them to play a red card. Otherwise it doesn't work. Cards in the deck don't have to be of the same color as your leader. That's also a big change, because in Constructed they need to be of the same color. Red deck is red leader and that's it. Here you can mix them, which opens for some amazing deck building opportunities. And last but not the least, how energy works. So all cards can create an energy of any color. So for example, you can use a blue card in the energy to play a red card. Yeah, I hope that I broke this down well. Let's check out the pricing. What can you actually win at this event? Well, you can win these two. These very, very expensive 2 cards. very expensive at the moment. So pricing for the event is just crazy. Just for participation, you will get promo Goku and promo Vegeta, same art, same abilities as the ones to the left, but just not gold foil. They will be normal cards. You will also get one energy marker pack, and you will get one promo pack. For getting top 4, you will get an additional energy marker pack. For hitting first place is so good! First place is these two in gold foil plus one digital pack code. One digital code that's gonna give you 24 packs. Yeah, you get a digital booster box for winning this event. That's massive. If you wish to play the digital client, yeah, this is the event that you want to win, because you just kind of get 24 pack codes. In addition to 4 pack codes that you get anyway from the 4 packs that you get for entering. So for winning you get 28 pack codes, 29 including the promo one. Yeah, that's a lot of value right here, but you need to win. So let's get you ready. Let's start with the cards that you lose, because you lose a lot, because you can't use starter deck cards, only the leaders. Now, if you don't think that you lose a lot, well, let me show you. You get no access to great extra cards, no destructive strength, no final flash, no Gallic gun, no extra cards that buff your leader, no dead beam, dead ball, all of that is gone. You flat out don't have access to them, which is huge. This really hurts ramp decks, for example, and this greatly limits the amount of removal that you have available to you in the format. In addition to this, you also get no access to any of the starter deck boss monsters. So no Vegeta, no Broly, no Goku, no Frieza, nothing. You just flat out don't have finishers. Like, the big starter deck finishers are gone. So not having access to starter decks takes away a lot of power from all colors. The big thing is that you don't get removal. So besides some extra cards which buff your things or ramp you, you also lose all removal cards from the starter deck. A lot of them are extra cards. And this is huge, this is massive, because it greatly limits the available amount of removal options, making battle cards a lot stickier. No final flash means you can't remove boss monsters now. How are you gonna kill a boss monster? There are still options, but you need to pull those. What's even worse is that the majority of set 1 removal cards are super rares. So you're probably not gonna be pulling them. Speaking of super rares, and I have checked some things online. I don't usually watch content, but I have checked some things online, and I need to warn you about this. Whoever suggests super rares is like, hey, you want to play this, you need to play this, doesn't know what they're talking about. Because super rares are so difficult to pull in a 4-pack format. You just shouldn't even count on them. Like, yes, if you pull them, they help you out a lot. They can actually close the games. Some of these are like, I don't know, Beerus, for example, or the Android 1718 Green Boss Monster. Those can just flat out end games. Like, if you have those, they can just carry you through the entire event. But you shouldn't count on them. Don't listen to suggestions that tell you like, oh, get this super rare, get this. You're probably not pulling a single one. Maybe you pull one, if you're really lucky. But the odds of pulling these are extremely slim. So, if you pull any of them, amazing. But in this format, most of them can be, game winning, but inaccessible. So you'll need the luck of God. However, where the true power lies in this format is commons and uncommons, because you will be swimming in those. Let's talk about bad leaders, because now you have access to all leaders, right? However, there are 2 really bad ones, one arguably bad. So U7 Goku and Ginyu. Why are these bad? Well, because leaders with very specific effects are usually bad in this format. And here's the big takeaway. While they have all of the names and traits and colors and everything, your battle cards don't. You still need to draw enough of U7 cards or Ginyu Force battle cards to make these leaders work. And because you don't, for example, for U7, because you don't have access to the starter deck cards, you just kinda don't have access to a whole bunch of U7 cards. Flat out, you don't have it. And that's it. And the really good ones in set are like rare up. So that doesn't work. Same thing with Ginyu. Like, you might get a couple of Ginyu Force cards here and there, but you're not getting enough to make his effect really worth it. Luckily, it is just these two. Arguably Goku Black. Arguably. But Goku Black can be phenomenal on the front side if you pull, you know, a really broken Pilaf Loop combo, which you probably want to do because Final Hope Slash is rare. So, yeah. So, luckily, it's just these two, maybe three. But then we have some really good leaders. Now let's go over the good ones. There's 5 of them. In my opinion, these are the best leaders in the format by far. First off, Broly. Now, why Broly? I know a lot of you are probably thinking, like, why you need to get rid of your own energy to draw, like, that seems bad, you know, it's like 425, but that's on 3 lives, and so, yeah, no, really, because Broly is 25k power, and because we're looking at mostly commons and uncommons, yes, there will be 4 rares, at least 4, but a lot of them are shit. Like, there are some really good ones, but there are some which are really shit. Like, you just flat out can't use them. We need to take a look at commons and uncommons primarily. And there are 11 of them in the entire format that are big enough to hit Broly. Just flat out 11, 25ks. Nothing else hits Broly in the common and uncommon slot without your opponent having to combo up. Yeah. And the odds of them just pulling all 11 of them are not super high. Then we have Gohan. Gohan is just super generic. He's like Broly, but he draws and he has an amazing activate battle effect. I would still be very weary of these green ramp leaders because you lost some ramp pieces, you lost destructive strength, and then the good ramp pieces are rares. Yeah. So ramp won't be the way to go in this format. But you can, because of what Broly does, you can feel very comfortable playing Broly. And basically, if you play it in a way that the energy that you charge on turn is always gone, and that you have a fixed amount of energy, unless you get some ramp pieces, then you can adjust your playstyle, and these two leaders can actually shine. The third one, arguably one of the better ones, is Trunks. Because if you remember, we briefly touched upon the lack of removal in the format. And Trunks can remove things. And even better, he can remove all but 7, almost said 3, all but 7 common and uncommon cards. He can bounce anything back. And he can get rid of blockers, which is huge. And he can get you your own play effects. So Trunks, much better than Vegeta in this format. Or Goku Black, if you ask me. Frieza is just absolutely messy value leader. Yeah, he loses all of his best cards, but you still have a couple of blockers that you can use. And if you pull the SRs, yeah, if you pull the yellow SRs, Frieza is just insane. And finally, Beerus. Beerus works kinda like Trunks. Unfortunately, he's a crit leader. He has to awaken first, but he helps you remove cards, which is great. Okay, so in this part of the video we will be going over the cards that you want to pull, that you want to add to your deck. First off, super combos. These are the first things that you're putting into your deck. Flat out just super combos. However, super combos are uncommons, unfortunately. So out of 4 packs, you might not get a playset. Like, there's a slim chance that you will not really a slim chance, there is actually a realistic chance that you won't get a playset as far as I am aware, because I haven't really been cracking any of the packs, but if it's anything like in Masters, there is a chance that you won't get your playset. So if you can get a playset, that's amazing. If you can't get, just add all of them. Add, like, if you have free, add free. These are the cards that will keep you alive during the format. Then let's talk about removals. So sometimes I'm gonna slide in a rare card, but it's not gonna be happening often. Mostly we're focusing commons and uncommons. You have 4 removal pieces. Technically you have 3, and then you have 1 extra rare one. Time skip. Time skip is absurdly strong in this format. Because of the size of common and uncommon cards, sometimes you can just remove multiple cards with it. You can remove any big threat with it, because there are no 5 costs or more with like more than 35k in the common and uncommon slot. Even in rare, they're not these big cards, they're just not there. So time skip removes anything. If you combine it with virus, you remove more things. That's awesome. Big bang attack, it's costly, you have to kill an energy, but it also allows you to just KO anything. You can remove any threat with it. Even, I would argue that even paying 2 is okay in this format to get rid of a big beater that you couldn't be able to get rid of otherwise. Mafuba is always great. Mafuba is always great, even better when you use Beerus alongside it. Trunks Future is not strictly a removal card, but he actually is. Because he's 25k, he's 10k combo power, which is just absurd. He can't attack leaders, but if you remember what I told you about Broly, and there are existing only 11 cards in these 2 slots that are 25k power, this means that Trunks can basically remove anything that he swings into. He's one of those 25, but he can't attack the leader. So he can remove the majority of the cards in the format. That's why you run Trunks. And finally, Sinister Sickle. This is a rare. If you pull it, awesome. If you don't pull it, you probably won't. It's still fine. But if you pull it, you're playing it 100% of the time. The card is insane. Removal is king in this format. In a format with limited cards, with almost no removal, removal is king. Then let's talk about defenses. There are some good blockers. There's not a lot of them. There is not a lot of them. Especially in these slots. A lot of blockers come in starter decks, and you just don't have access to them. So these are the ones that you have access to, and which are like reasonably okay. So Android 17, extremely hard to kill. Not a lot of 25k cards. So when you block with him, he becomes 25k. So that's pretty hard to remove for most of the cards in the format. Kui? I don't fucking know. This yellow guy, basically, he's great. Yeah, he's only 10k, but when you block with him on KO, you get to rest something. So it's prevent 2 attacks, basically. If your opponent sequences incorrectly, you can block 1 attack and then you can just rest another big attacker so that you don't have to deal with it. And then even next turn you can just swing into the card that you have rested and remove it. And finally, Dr. Rota. So Dr. Rota has a... Now you might be thinking, what the fuck, Damien? But listen. So Dr. Rota has a neat effect. He gives something minus 10k when he's KO'd. He's similar to the yellow card, which I just can't pronounce. But while he doesn't rest, he still removes an attacker. Think of it like this. Let's say that you're playing a 20k baseline leader. You block your first attack with Dr. Rota, he dies. Your opponent has a 20k guy. Or, I don't know, 25, for example. Let's say that it's 25. It's one of the rare ones, right? So you give it minus 10. Now it is 15. It can still attack, but now it needs to combo up to hurt you. If you're playing Dr. Rota and Broly, it's even better, because then it's even harder to hit you. So these are some good blockers in the common and uncommon slot. When it comes to attackers, a lot of them unfortunately don't do anything. Like, at least not in the common uncommon slot. Even in rare, like, a lot of them don't do anything. You don't have your big flashy double strikers, you don't have cards that just cheat in other cards or KO something. So you need to work with what you have. When it comes to the common slot, Android 17 is okay, because critical is very good in this format. It's the only keyword that's only offensive one that's actually accessible. So we have to go with it, right? Android 17 and Salsa. I forgot to put it here. Salsa, the yellow one, same effect. So 2 cost, 15k crit, 10k combo when 15 is no longer enough to hit your opponent's leader. That's amazing. At the 4 cost you have this Vegeta. He doesn't look very flashy. He's a 4 cost 30k crit. And you're like, well, this kinda looks like ass. But first off, he's very big. He's 30k. This bad boy is hard to remove. And he's threatening critical damage. So Vegeta is very good. A lot of these cards that you would usually look at and say like, well, this is just bad, are actually good due to the limited amount of removal or blockers or other things. So Vegeta is okay. In the rare slot, we have 2 cards. We have Trunks, which is wow, which is just wow. He has critical, he gets rid of a card, that's awesome. And if you happen to pull either Trunks or Vegeta, because Vegeta is also amazing. This Vegeta is a dual attacker. He attacks twice. Yeah, he's 20k, but he attacks twice. And he can remove something. So these are okay. They don't count on the rare ones. But common uncommons are okay. Rares, mostly just for showcase. Like, if you open them, you will be very happy. Because with critical, denying card draw in an already clunky format is really, really good. Finally, let's go over some extra cards. Final Hope Slash is the best extra card in the game. One of the best, especially in this format. Though it's a rare, it's here as a placeholder for these rare buffs. You know, Final Hope Slash and Supernova. If you get either one of them, you're putting them in the deck. Just like flat out. Rare, yeah. Like, you are running these. However, we are more likely to see the common and uncommon ones, and there are some good ones here. First, Assemble, representatives of Universe 7 or U6. Both of these are great. You're not using them most of the time for their tutor effect, because most of the time it's gonna be pointless in this format. However, you are using them for the buff. One gives an offensive buff, one gives a defensive one. That's great. And when it comes to cards like Final Hope Slash, there's only one of them in the uncommon slot. The other ones are rare. So that one, unfortunately, is the worst one. And that's brother-sister combination. It will give you plus 20k, which is huge, but it really won't give you any of the other effects. Getting the other effect, even in constructed, is a bit of a chore. So you look to get representatives, you look to get brother-sister combination, and if you get Final Hope Slash and you draw PLF, congratulations, you won the tournament. Now, the final thing that I need to address is, what about rares? Because other than an odd rare here and there, mostly put there to prove a point, I know that some of you might be asking, like, Damien, but what about Botamo? Like, Botamo is pretty good. I've heard that he's great. Yeah, Botamo is really good. What about the Son Goku that ramps you, you know, or the shitty Trunks that ramps you? That's ironically not bad in this format. It's bad literally everywhere else. Like, what about these ones? Why aren't we going over these? Well, because you can only just kind of count on 4 rares. 4 rares are guaranteed. You're not guaranteed to get any more. So that's not where the bulk of the power in the format is coming from. That's why I don't put them on the list, because none of them are bad. If you pull a rare, you're automatically playing it. That's it. That's just a given. If you pull it, you play it. But you don't really get a guarantee that you will pull any of the good ones. So just kind of recommending you rares, like, oh, you should run Botamo, you should run the Goku that ramps, or I don't honestly know anymore. It's kind of pointless. Like, it's really pointless because you have no effect over whether or not you're gonna pull them. So yeah, if you pull them, you do run them. But most of them are great. Unless they are really trait locked with their abilities, they're good. And you will play all of the rares and all of the super rares that you pull at the event, except for like the trait locked ones. To prove a point, let me show you how you evaluate your rares. So here we have Android 20, Shield, and Sinister Shadow. All of them are shit. All of them are just hot garbage. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that they're rares. If you pull them, you put them where they belong, into the trash. You just take them and you throw them into the garbage. Like, all of them are bad. Android 20 you might want to keep if you want to play androids in Constructed, though I don't suggest doing this. I mean, running him, he's not really that good. But, for example, why are they hot garbage? Well, because Android 20 looks for Dr. Gero's lab, which is also rare, so good luck getting them. Shield just kind of buffs very, very specific battle cards, and it's really kind of pointless. Like, what's this guy gonna do? Like, there's not a lot. And then you have Sinister Shadows, which works with a very specific card that's Goku-like battle card. So 99% of the time it doesn't do anything. What's an amazing rare? Well, take a look at Son Gohan Childhood. 5 cost, 30k, 10k combo, phenomenal stats in the format, and when you play him, you get to KO a cost 4 or less. Like, that's what a good rare looks like. That's amazing. That's what you want to pull. The other ones, anything that mentions either a specific card or a specific trait is garbage. Just doesn't matter that they're rare. Just don't run them at all. Before we end the video, let's quickly jump into the summary. So now you should be ready to play Sealed. Yes, once again, rares and super rares are great, but due to the low pull rates, it's pointless to discuss them. You just can't count of them. It's just, don't listen when people say like, oh, run this super rare, run the androids, and then you will win. Yeah, good luck. So commons and uncommons is where the true power lies, because you will be swimming in them. Like, you'll have so many of them, and it's more important to properly analyze which commons and uncommons are good than like which rares or like super rares are good. Like, suggesting you super rares to me is like suggesting you to play a secret rare. So, good luck. Anyway, when it comes to deconstruction, here's your priorities. First, super combos, then removal, then you look at good attackers, then you look at blockers because there's not a lot of them, and finally we look for those extra card buffs. So this is the order in which you should prioritize your deck building. Remember to bring your own leader with you. Bring your own leader. If you wish to play a starter deck leader, call the store, ask if you can do this. If they tell you no, make them aware of the official rules, and hopefully they will budge. So yeah, and please keep in mind that some of these celebration events will be constructed, because in some stores there's just not enough product to hold an event like this. Anyways, that's all for the video. Have fun everyone, and we're rooting for you. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below. Are you hyped to play at the event? Do you feel ready to go and to win the coveted golden Goku and golden Vegeta, and then just like sell them for 200 euros or something? I don't know. Or just keep them. Who knows? The market is crazy right now. So do you feel prepared to play Sealed? Have you already had your celebrations event? Because some stores had them already. let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading them. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And guys, it's incredible. We hit 4K subs. Wow. Yeah, huge thank you to everyone. We're gonna make a giveaway video next week. But for now, guys, share the video. It helps out others. Hit those like and subscribe buttons. Help us get to 5K subs when we're gonna give away a booster box again. So this has been Damien from the Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.